Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday Live with Alan and Greg, and at least temporarily, Mr. Pip, who's being a little fussy and not wanting to sit on my lap very quietly. So he's going to leave, I think.
Yeah, Pip Zoom bombed me while Greg was filling his tea. So I had a little chat with Pip.
Yeah, he's swatting at me. He wants attention. He's not happy.
Oh, cool.
He wants attention.
Yeah, Pip, aka Lucky, the three-legged cat.
Pip, stop chewing on my hand. Stop chewing on my hand. Ouch. Ow. Okay. Let's see. We got some comments, I think. All right. YouTube Bestie Coda is in the chat room. Anyone else who wants to say hi, you can say hi. A little bit later on, we are going to open up this live stream to anyone who wants to join us. And we got Lee Kemper. Hello, Lee.
Hey, Lee.
All right. How was your 2023 reading year?
Oh, God, what a question.
Well, it's the first.
Man, it's pretty good. Yeah, I really haven't looked back on it in total on Goodreads.
Right.
Because I always forget like several books along the way. You know, that's normal. I read 60 something books, like 68, which is really good for me. That's
pretty good.
I don't know. Lifelong high for me. You know, I tend to read some pretty thick books. This is just a Jane Austen collection, but I'll do the BookTube and like read what you own challenge and all the buddy reads, group reads. But I started out 2023 with War and Peace, and I'm starting it 24 with War and Peace. That's kind of cool.
That is cool. I read it a few years ago in March when I was in the Dominican Republic. Well, actually, I didn't read it in the Dominican Republic because I didn't want to carry that book around with me. It's too big.
Yeah.
And say hello to Jim, Mystery and Mayhem. Hey, Jim.
Hey,
Jim's
Jim.
going to be our guest next week.
Yeah, on the 8th.
On the 8th.
Over the weekend, I watched the BBC series of War and Peace with Gillian Anderson plays like a minor role in it. That old actress Greta Sachi and David Cox from Game of Thrones, which I'm really ignorant about and haven't seen one episode of, but I know who he is. He's in it. And then the other like British actors, I don't know, but it's really well done. You'd like it.
Okay.
The war scenes are graphic. There's nudity in it. It's odd that the BBC will show, TNA, but like the men will be covered up in a blanket. The men will be naked, but like covered in a blanket. It's unfair for the gay men in America,
I guess so. And also,
England.
Say hello to James Holder. He's also in the chat room.
Hey, James. Yeah, we haven't seen James in here for a while, but I've been a long subscriber of his channel.
And we've got Read by Fred. Hello, Fred. He says, happy Monday, folks. 2023 was a good reading year for me. Lots of different material.
Yeah, you're a really eclectic reader, Fred.
Yeah.
He reads a lot. I'm still trying to get used to Fred's short haircut. He had that long hair for so long. And he cut it off and donated it. That was way coolio, Fred.
Yeah. I could never have done that in my life because my hair doesn't grow long. It would just keep
growing.
But now my days of growing hair are a little bit behind me. So I had a pretty good reading year. I read more books in 2023 than I have ever read before.
Wow, that's saying a lot for you.
I'm still way behind Criminale, but he read 368 or something like that. So my totals will not be as impressive as that. But I read 216 books last year. And 64 of them were print books, 73 audiobooks.
Wow.
And 79 ebooks. No, I had to move my tea because my cat's on the table, Pip. And he loves to knock over drinks.
Oh, yeah, Pip does. But Pip, being the three-legged cat, cannot jump on your kitchen tables to knock over a drink. He loves to knock them over.
There we go.
Knock over stuff.
So, out of those 216, I read 66,194 pages worth. But it only comes out to an average of 287 pages per book. So my books were on the short side.
Yeah, that's how Ollie reads so many as well. That's okay. I mean, I like to read, I read poetry, and poetry books are relatively small. Thing is, with poetry books with me, I end up reading them for like a month and a half. I don't just read it and put it on my shelf.
Yeah, well, I read an entire poetry book today.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who? It was Voices of the City by our own Gareth Howells.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You guys are doing a thing on that, aren't you?
Not really. MJ was gonna read it today too, but I don't know how far she is. I haven't checked my Voxer messages.
That's right.
So she's still reading that tonight.
Yeah, way to go. What are your impressions of it? Are you prepared to say anything, or do you want to wait for that?
I'm gonna do a very short, 2 minute, 3 minute review video that will be in my wrap up video. But essentially, it's pretty good. I mean, may not be Dylan Thomas, but he.
Yeah, I named my son Dylan. His middle name is Dylan Thomas. Zane Dylan Thomas. Then my last name, but you're an honest critic too. That's good. I'd like to read it. I try to support indie authors and YouTube authors for sure. Talking about Criminale, they just him and his partner in the Garbology put out a video today. I forget his name, but his
Troy Trade-Up. That's the other editor.
Yeah. So I might even they're going to do a call for artwork in March. So I got my mind on that. I'll submit some illustrations for that black and white one.
Yeah. So here's Read by Fred. He's going, I still have to watch Criminale's video of how we read 365 books plus in a year. I don't know how we can do it with a family and a job and life. Well,
no choice.
Well, the thing is, Ollie reads faster than he admits, I think. As for me, I'm retired, so I don't have the day job, but I also don't do a lot of other things other than read. I really don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. And I know Ollie doesn't watch a lot of TV or movies, but he still has that day job and family, and he still beats me. So
yeah, I think he's like a Steve Donahue type reader. He's one of those that just can their eyes never get tired. And see, I do watch TV and sports and that and movies but I just never sleep. So that's how I read so much. I'm up all night reading. Ask MJ or ask anybody on Voxer. Like you reply to me, my alarms will go off, click, click. I will reply right back. It's like, don't you ever sleep?
Well, for me, well, I sleep really. I go to bed about 11, wake up 6:37, but I just sleep.
That's
So,
killer.
but the thing is I get tired after reading a few hours. I just like my brain is just full, and it's just go take a nap or putz around. I do watch YouTube
Yeah.
sometimes, and I'm gonna cut back some of the YouTube short watching because that just sucks in your time. You're just going scroll, scroll,
Yeah.
scroll. I just wasted an hour watching these dumb videos of girls falling on their butts when they're drunk.
Yeah. They call what they call that in Ireland? They call it falling tits over ass.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, even the women say that, or teats over feet, or something like that.
Something.
Somebody said it in a meeting the other day. I have friends in Ireland that I Zoom with.
So here's Coda again. I'm the same with poetry books. I read them over an extended period, a poem a day or less, typically. I like to savor them. Now, that's the one thing I was going to say in my critical is I read this whole book in one day. And I'm going, it's a lot to absorb. I mean, it's only a few pages, 100 some odd pages, but there's a lot more to absorb that if I'd gone slower, it might have been a better experience on those poems. But it was pretty good. So Lee, heavens, I only managed about 60 books so far. I guess I need to keep track. I usually go by the total numbers that are donated to the used bookstore.
Good point, Lee.
Yeah. Well, hello, Ryan from Book Time with Ryan. Welcome
Hey,
back.
Ryan. I was holding up the wrong hand.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Angelia, read and reread.
Hey,
Happy
Angelia.
New Year, everyone.
Yeah,
I
you too.
whole day reading and setting up my 2020 reading journal, Nerd Joy. Yep.
Yeah. I like to journal too.
No, I was not journaling, but I got the nominations for the BookTube prize today. So
and
what happens is there's like 97 in nonfiction. I've only looked at nonfiction so far. There's like 97 books, and I have to choose up to 20. I know you want to come out. You want to come. So I got to look at Amazon a bit and see which of those 97 that I actually would suggest everyone reading.
Yeah, now you'll be talking with Elizabeth from Bookings and Books about the prize.
We should have by that time we should have submitted our nominations, and we can talk a little bit about what we think of some of the nominations. All I can say is there are a hell of a lot of star memoirs on that list. All right, you gonna go down? You behave? No, you're not going to behave. All right. He refuses to behave.
Now my video is going wonky. Oh, you're back. Yeah, it froze up for a bit there.
Almighty Om. Hello.
Hey, Al.
Hey, Al.
Good to see you, Al.
We're doing the Bhagavad Gita this month.
Yes. I'm waiting for my copy in the mail. I have the Audible. I haven't listened to it in a while because, like I mentioned, I've been watching the War and Peace BBC all weekend, but that was like a 7-hour series.
Okay, I did. I was about to say this thing from Fred, but didn't make sense. Says, I took part in Advent of Code over December. It's a problem-solving coding contest. Winner gets bragging rights that took up almost all my spare time in December. Now, is that like decoding messages?
Yeah, Fred.
I presume that's probably decoding messages, not writing computer code. I'm presuming that's
I have
what
a
it is.
feeling I'm going to have to go downstairs. My video's getting wonky.
All right. So, oh yes, I started looking up the descriptions and reviews of those Book2 prize books. Yeah, that's exactly. What I do is I just have a spreadsheet, and I rank the book like from 1 to 5 on how interested I am in reading it. You go through the description, just rank 1 to 5. Really, 5s, I'm really interested, and 1 being I really don't want to read this book at all. And you got a couple 5s, got a couple 1s.
But you're not allowed to say.
But you guys are freezing up. I have not noticed any freezing up, but Alan said he in his end is freezing up.
I might have to go downstairs in my little apartment complex and get on their Wi-Fi.
So, hello, MJ. Hello and happy New Year.
MJ.
Ooh, I need to get a spreadsheet going. Yeah, MJ. Well, we got a couple weeks to go through the book too. I mean, but I like doing it. It's just like an obsessive thing. It's like, I got this list. I just want to get through the list and rank them. And I haven't done completed nonfiction yet, but I will probably do that either tonight or tomorrow morning. And then I'll have to select the actual 20 that I want.
You're not allowed to speak their names, are you? The titles?
No, no. I can absolutely say what the books are that have been nominated. The idea is you don't want to start making critical talks about the book, like this book is really well done, I think it's excellent, or whatever, or I think this book is a bunch of horse hockey manure, so you don't influence other people. But you can absolutely talk about the books.
I know a lot of people. I know a few people participate in it, like Roz at Scalagandlian about the books. Always does it. Who else? Well, that's one.
Yeah. Well, I know. I think MJ is. I don't know if she's doing fiction or nonfiction, or maybe she's doing both. Brian at Bookish is definitely doing nonfiction. He might also be doing fiction. Elizabeth Bookins in Books is doing nonfiction.
I see. Well, I will definitely take tips on nonfiction books from you guys for Nonfiction November.
Mm-hmm.
I like nonfiction.
We'll have a lot. There were a few I'm in fear of being assigned to read, but I will maintain the code of silence. Angelia, I will say that I mentioned to Alan that I'm ranking them 1 to 5. There are a couple that I've rated 0.5 that I really am not looking forward to. But the one issue is you can be surprised by a book when you get assigned there. It happened to me last year where there was a book called The Secret City about the life of Gay Washington. And I ranked it, like a 2 or a 3, just says, this really isn't my thing. But it got through and I got assigned. And I actually really liked that book. And for that, the first part, I ranked that as my number 1 book. So it went from a book that I thought I wouldn't like to being my favorite book of the section. So it can change. You can be surprised.
Interesting.
Could. Oh, sorry, Greg. Advent of code was writing computer code. Had to go back to my university math to figure out some of those problems out. Okay. I was once a computer programmer, or I should say a database developer, which is really just a different type of computer programming. And
yep. Over my head.
It's not that I studied English literature at university, and I just picked up computer programming on the side.
Yeah, I used to do like a wee bit of it. All the you put them in brackets like green and change colors, but I mean, I had a tarot website. I was talking to Scott at the Bookish Bryant's. about back in the day. It was was not hard to set up a website. You could like drag stuff, and I mean like little things that would spin around and call attention to things. And I haven't messed around with any of that in a long time, over 10 years, but I had fun.
Oh, MJ's doing both.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Both fiction and nonfiction.
Al,
Coolio.
I was just looking at the nonfiction listed. Not sure any of my TBH. Shock. I have mentioned I tend to read old stuff, academic and the like. Yeah, you know, I'm a lot the same. Most of the newer books I read in 2023 were for the BookTube Prize. And I only did nonfiction last year. Even though I had volunteered for fiction and nonfiction, I just got picked for nonfiction because they have fewer nonfiction judges. Angelia, I did fiction last year. Do it again this year. Okay.
Wow.
I enjoy that roll of the dice, the surprises that I never would have chosen. Yeah.
I like your dice reference.
Mm-hmm.
Place the 6 and 8 with odds. Thank me later.
Lee Kemper. I took a class way back when they offered BASIC. That was the computer language I first learned in high school. Was BASIC. And it's really kind of, because sometimes when I was programming, I'd go back to the basic language structure. You know, how you say, no, we don't do that like that anymore, but it was like ingrained in me. Almighty Swim wanted to be a philosopher, ended up a banker. Cost the life is a cast of lots, indeed. Okay. What I am going to do is I am going to post the link to the show comments,
to the live stream.
And if anyone who wants to join the live stream can join. I believe I can have up to 6 people in the live stream at once. And then
and let's keep it down. Let's keep it polite, people. Let's not get out of hand like last time. And Greg had to boot some people off. Let's not, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
We always have fun. We haven't had to boot anybody off.
No, we've never had to boot anyone off.
Yeah. Well, I've had to boot myself off a couple times, but
well, you're self-booting. Booting on, yeah. So, what was your favorite book of last year? Do you have a favorite?
Well, yeah. Well, Satanic Verses, I've said many times, really surprised me. That's a really he's a great writer. I can't wait to read Midnight's Children down there. I'm looking at it right now. Buddy Read with Scott, Bookish Bryant's. Yeah, he really surprised me with his humor. I mean, it's a serious book, and it has its violence and death and everything else, and his stuff on religion, but it's really humorous. The family stories, and I don't know. India is another place I would love to visit too. India. I like reading about India. Like we're going to be reading Shadaram, and that book your wife Chris turned me on to was in India and a spiritual quest, and that was really interesting.
Yeah, I mean
that's one.
Well, the thing is, when you read Midnight's Children, I read that first in the 90s. It really got me to understand a bit about India. It's I was in I guess my early 30s at the time. I didn't know. I knew India was a country, way over there, but it got me to understand a little bit of what India was like and how India was divided up into 2 countries. There's India and Pakistan, that they used to be the same country, and then they got divided up. So
I had a Pakistani roommate, dorm mate at Kent State, He was
Mhm.
vegetarian. Like we had a small little fridge. All he kept is like cheese in it. But
Right.
he didn't last with me. My dorm room. I was like too loud. I was a party animal. Just my dorm room. I basically live in I still live in a dorm room, but I had a loft with a bed, all my albums underneath it. He didn't last long at all. He was a serious student,
Yeah.
probably
Well,
pre-med.
I've got a couple that are going on my. I will eventually be doing like a top 10 books, and the one that really struck me is the one I read just earlier in December, was The Maniac by Benjamin Labatut.
Huh.
That is a, a novel, although it borders on nonfiction because
Truman Capote-esque,
no, well, no, this is
like his.
told in a series of voices. Every chapter is a voice talking essentially about Jean von Neumann. He was a physicist and mathematician, and essentially
Oh,
the creator or envisioner of the modern computer.
oh,
So
I
it's
see.
I actually will have a bit of a review coming out Wednesday when I talk about all my audiobooks. But it was a really fascinating book, and it's not like a normal novel because the structure is actually in three parts and sort of tells three different stories about how computers got developed. So I really like that. So
Yeah,
but
Ben.
again, you don't really know the main character because the main character is always seen through someone else's eyes. And people have different opinions of characters. So one from his wife is going to be a different opinion, and one from his colleague is going to have a different opinion. So I thought it was very well done.
Yep. Yeah,
And
sounds like it. That's a good idea.
and I
Good
saw
technique.
someone asking him after he did all this research for the book, and he mentions that he loves doing research for books. That's his favorite part, is doing the research. He says, I could have done, he said, why didn't you do it as nonfiction? His comment was, all nonfiction is fiction.
Huh.
Because
Well, we were talking earlier. We were talking earlier about like little things we've learned from fiction, and one about the lie detector, like putting a tack in your shoe. I was mentioning because I got called to jury duty, and I'll talk about that later. But Greg said, "Yeah, I've heard about that little gimmick. Put a tack in your shoe, and every time you lie." I thought it was lie. He thought it was.
I think it's every time you tell the truth, you step on the tack, and that gives your body a pump. So
Right.
The idea is the lie detector, when you lie, your body's going to get pumped with the lie.
But that's an example of something I learned from fiction. And you're talking, or you said the quote, even nonfiction is fiction. Huh. I have to think about that. The past is not dead. It's not even the past.
Mm-hmm. So let's go. Some comments. Lee Kemper loves Stone Blind. I can't remember. I think she's mentioned that before, but
Stone Blind.
I can't remember the author. I could only narrow down to top 12. Kipling, this is Al, opened my eyes to India, even to the Dharma.
Oh.
Lee again.
Yeah.
I love
to the truth.
Thousand Ships by Natalie Hayes. I know that book.
Dharma means the truth.
I just can't remember too much about it. I've heard about
yeah. I've heard about that too.
Fred, favorite books from last year: Animal Farm, then 1984. Depressing as heck, but oh so powerful. Animal Farm is another book that I may have to pick up in 2024 for banned books. celebration.
Mhm.
Lee, I also read that. I really loved it too. Okay, I enjoyed Einstein and the Rabbi by one of the first women rabbi named Naomi Levy for new to me this year. Angelia, I've seen The Maniac on some top 10 lists on the BookTube prize list, so it might be coming my way. I am fairly certain The Maniac is listed on the fiction this year. I took a peek. I'm pretty sure I saw it there. Not positive, but someone in the comments who's has their list open can double check that for me. Almighty all is narrative, all the world is a stage. Fake it till as we actors are upon the stage. Hey, Gareth. Hey, guys, I remember to tune in.
Gareth. Hey, Gareth, how you doing? Good to see you still up, mate.
Yep, you know, you were mentioned earlier in this live stream.
I thought you were going to get some sleep, Gareth, after playing your show on New Year's Eve.
Because I finished reading Voices in the City today. As my first book done in 2024.
Wow. Right arm. Right
it's a book of poetry. It's not hard to read a whole book of poetry. Although we mentioned I think I lost some by reading it all basically in a couple sittings.
Yeah, you'll have to go back to it.
I'll have to go back. Well, I've highlighted a few of the poems that I want to read, at least in my review, just to give a flavor of the poetry. Hope you're both well. And hi, everyone in the chat. Saying hi to Gareth. Hi, give a thumbs up for the first Monday Night Live of 2024. Yeah, MJ.
Thanks, MJ.
All right. MJ Book Songs and Other Magic. Thanks so much for reading, Greg. Yeah. Al, I started Proust today. I hope to end by 2025.
I know. Good luck with that. I've never read any Proust.
Well, was it in one of our live shows where we were thinking about Proust in 2025, the year of reading Proust, where you could just read all his books in one year? That would still be, I mean, that's still 3,000 very dense pages.
Yeah, we could do that. Sure. I mean, I'm open. Mine like Parachute, only work when open.
Yeah, well, you would have to think very carefully because that would mean a couple other events you can't get into because Proust books are long and not I've read the first one twice, and it's not an easy book to get into.
Yeah, I would go into deep dives. I'm sure I'd be deep diving that all over. I'd have to get the audio of it, but I'd cross it off my bucket list.
Yeah.
I like that movie. I'm going to forget the title, but the guy from The Office, Steve, what's his name? I don't know, but Sunshine of the. No, it's not that one. It's one about the van, but he's a Proust scholar in it, and he's like mentally ill. If he has a breakdown, has to go to the hospital. I'm chuckling because it's kind of a humorous thing, although usually it's not humorous. But he's a Proust scholar. It's a good movie.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, MJ says, and I read it. I guess she read Gareth's book today too.
Yeah, we were talking about you, MJ, before you appeared.
Lee, my 2 books have been nominated for the Booker last year. Okay.
Wow.
Just thinking, MJ, Steve Carell.
Carell, yes. And
Oh,
they're
the movie you're thinking of
do that.
is Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
No, that's the Kaufman movie, which is a great movie. I think. Now I'm gonna go crazy.
Oh, wait a second.
Google
Are
it.
you talking about Little Miss Sunshine?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was that the movie where they're on a road trip with the grandfather who's a
Yeah.
heroin addict, and they have a little girl.
Yep.
He's supposed to go to a dance recital, and he taught her to do a stripper dance. Is that the one?
Right.
All right.
Adam Arkin is the old man, or the older guy. He's a great actor. So you have seen him.
Okay. Yeah. And Gareth, Little Miss Sunshine is one of my favorite films. So fantastic. All right, everyone. I'm gonna make another post of the link. Anyone who wants to pop in on the live.
Yeah, Fred popped in one time. If Fred is still here, why don't you pop in? Yeah, or Al from Niagara Falls, pop in, or Gareth if you want to keep Gareth up.
Yeah.
What's that one song about from Talking Heads, Gareth, called about keeping the baby up late? Don't you want to make him stay up late? Oh, sweet little baby. About keeping a baby up late.
Okay.
Oh, shite. Greg's froze.
No, I'm not froze. Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet. One of the best movies ever. Little Miss Sunshine,
Right.
One of the best movies ever too. Okay, Coda likes them both.
Exactly. Thank you.
And of course, I'll highlight my own my StreamYard link. Fred, holy smokes! I just look up Proust, and his longest book is Et la Ruche de la Temps Perdu, In Search of Lost Time. 9.6 million characters. Wow, good luck with that one. Yeah, well, it's supposed to be one of the best books ever written.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that in 2025. But this is 2024, Greg.
It is 20, so we don't have to. We got a whole year to pump it up.
Pump it up, yeah. We ought to start pumping up our Ulysses real long.
Well, we are going to be pumping up.
Not quite yet. Maybe next month.
It's not too early to do the videos announcing it. You know, saying Ulysses is coming.
Yeah, that should be cool. You know, I lost not one but two friends doing the last Ulysses readathon, but we got through like all the way to chapter or episode 9 or 10 out of 18, and then it kind of folded. But I was a different person back then. This was like 3-4 years ago, and I was insistent that we all get on the same page and get the same edition, the Gabler edition. And most of the people did, but there was one guy who did. He was kind of prickish about it, because if you don't have the same edition, the pagination is off. But like at this point, I really don't care. Any edition will do, you know. And it's like any into it, I'm open to any end you can get, just like War and Peace or any other.
Yeah, well, you know, it's like when we did people read different translations. It was obvious that we had read the same story and we understand what people were talking about.
Right.
And I know there are different editions of Ulysses where some things have been modified and updated, and not
modified and updated. It's more of the minutia, like the commas and semicolon here, and that's what Joyceans will argue about. They didn't really. There has been an edition by Dennis Rose called like the Updated Ulysses, and that's like a collector's item, but I wouldn't recommend it at all.
Okay. I have my hardcover book over there from Random House. What edition do I have?
You have the Gambler edition as well. I would stick with the Gabler, Greg. I'll be reading the Gabler, and I've got the 1922 edition, and I've got that big ass new one that came out that I'm looking forward to digging into.
Yeah, this is the Walter
Gabler.
Gabler. But I also have it
Yeah.
on my Kindle, and it just might be easier to read on my Kindle than holding out that
Uh-huh.
book. I also have an audiobook that was available for free from Audible, and I
Cool.
especially because I
I
want
have
to
that.
listen. I want to listen and read at the same time.
I have that as well. Yeah, I mean, over the years, I've been reading it since the 80s. I've went through a lot of reference books, and Allusions in Ulysses is a good reference book. You know, Ulysses Annotated by Gifford, the one I gave you. I had an extra copy of that. I liked it so much, I found myself with 2 copies of it. Then I have the Audible as well. I've done the great courses on Ulysses. I'm sure that's free somewhere.
Oh yeah,
All
yeah.
kinds of-
I think that the course is free on Audible too. Not positive. I have to go check.
Yeah, to members.
Yeah, to me, you got to be a member. So Gareth, I got up midday today, so I'm not tired now.
Oh, cool.
MJ, wasn't Aaron? Yeah, I think Aaron Facer was reading.
Yeah. Yep, he did. He did. Good call, MJ. Aaron Facer, my mate over in Wales.
All right. She does a dance number to Super Freak.
Oh, yeah, The Sunshine. That's a great movie. I might watch that again.
I used to manage a video store, and now I read books.
Ah, very interesting. Yeah, I like old film. I like old film noir with Bogart and that. And then I like Hitchcock. Love Stanley Kubrick. Like Woody Allen. I mean, I was a big Woody Allen fan, you know, and that he's canceled, quite frankly. But I even acted in Play It Again, Sam.
So here's Al. Proust and His Search of Lost Time is a weird one. They say it influenced so many, yet who really read it? I wonder. I think previous generations read it a lot more than the current generation. I remember reading something in the Harlan Ellison book, a short stories. In one of his introductions, he was mentioning, he's talking about Proust, and he said,
Boy, Harlan Ellison.
Yeah, he says, don't even bother trying Proust until you're over 40.
Ah, well, it's time we both got into it.
And when I read it, I was in my 20s, so I said, okay, maybe I should put off reading Proust.
Yeah, well, that went over your head a bit.
Yeah, Aaron Facer did read Proust. I think Aaron Facer is under 40, though. I'm pretty sure.
Under 20? He's under 30.
40, under 40.
Oh, under 40.
For Proust.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Aaron's like 35.
Thank you, Jim. F&O, we got to talk about Joyce. Count me in as always. So we got another one.
Okay. Cool.
Hello, Bad. Welcome
to
Bad. Live.
Well,
If you look through the comments, there's a link. If you want to join, Bad.
Yeah, join us, Bad.
Hi, everyone in the comments. Happy New Year to you all. I must say that Joyce is really meant to listen in the original Brogue RTE.
Oh, yeah.
That is
I've got FW Finnegan's Wake on Audible too, or audio. Yep, old FW. I used to do a Sunday. It was called a Waking Sunday, and I spelled Sunday like the Sunday you eat. A Waking Sunday, and nobody really caught on to Finn with me. I call it finning when you read Finnegan's Wake. Try to get a booktube going. I've got playlists of the yin yang on Joyce. Check out my playlist.
So Zap, Greg, I took a page out of your book and read Seize the Day because it was short and it would start on the first day of the year with an entire book. Excellent. I believe the Saul Bellow. Saul Bellow.
And I'm out of here.
I have Herzog on my shelf, not Seize the Day.
Oh,
Saying hi to Bad. MJ, Greg, I have a video request. How to Mylar over tutorial. Okay. I'm not sure I have a book to Mylar, though. I've done all my books.
you know, if you wanted to join us, MJ, you could.
You could.
We know you're busy, but you could pop in.
But I'll try to find a book to Mylar. I'm sure I have one that I don't, and I have a couple extra Mylar covers. Tom, hello, Tom. My copy of Ulysses is pulled together by rubber bands.
Yeah, coolio.
Aaron actually made Proust sound interesting.
This is my oldest copy that I have. I've lost many editions of it, but yeah, this one's it's getting kind of tattered and splattered and worked over. I've got I've only got 3 copies of Ulysses, but it's beat up.
Okay.
61 edition.
So Al goes, Midnight in Paris is a fantastic film. That was a Woody Allen film. That's the one it features someone playing Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah, exactly. I like that with
I remember the reviews saying the guy who did Hemingway, they really liked the guy who did Hemingway.
Yeah. About time for me to read reread some Hemingway. I can do with Sun Also Rises in 2024.
That is one that's potentially on my banned books. That's sort of like I haven't decided.
Yeah, there's a major spoiler.
What?
Major spoiler alert in Sun Also Rises.
So Gareth,
oh shoot, you froze up, right?
You're still going? I'll pop in. Okay, we might be going in 20 minutes. Happy New Year to Bad. Alan, I went to vlog video again today.
Another cemetery?
She had one. She read a ghost story in a cemetery. I saw earlier today.
Oh, I didn't catch it today, but I was watching football. Go Ducks.
Yep. Gareth, I've got Seize the Day to read, actually. Found it for 50p earlier in the year. You as well, Bad? Okay. I'm going to watch some of Alan vlog videos back in 3 years. They look awesome. I joke because no one read Proust while he was alive. Like a few others I could mention, Marcel had a couple alias identities, lead reviews of his own work. He even got into argument. Thank you to Mystery and Mayhem. I like the Dolly character played by a well-known actor. That's right, they had a Dolly in there too, now that I remember. I forgot that. MJ, I would pop in, but the holiday is over and it's back to the gym at 5:30 a.m. I need to get some good Z's tonight.
You have to forgive me. The sound is breaking up on my end. Greg is froze.
Oh, so here's Angelina. Mylar your books. I unmylar them if they come in that way secondhand. That's interesting. I always like to Mylar my books, but I guess there's some people who really don't like it. And I've seen a couple people made that suggestion, is that they take it off. But you're the first one who's actually confirmed that they do that. Yeah, we've lost Alan for a bit because he's frozen. I hope he comes back. I hope someone else will join in if Alan doesn't come back, because talking to myself and the people in the chat room. So bad. I can't wait for Horror Mayhem. I have some great ideas already. There is going to be prompts for Horror Mayhem, I think. Since you're part of the group, you can make suggestions about what prompts you think will be good for this year. MJ, read and reread. I think I would cover a lot of my books. Hee. I love that library feel. Zap, Alan, I'm a duck. Oregon duck. Yeah, I wish Alan were here to see that. I'll have to try to remember to bring that back if he comes on the stage again. Angela, I'm a retired librarian, so I take an evil glee in removing the Mylar. I guess I can understand that. Bad. I'm definitely checking out the Libby idea and library. I just made an account for Goodreads. I'm going to recommend a library thing, Bad. I think at least for me, I have to do a video someday of why I think library thing is better than Goodreads. She's MJ's laughing. Angelia, 5:30 a.m. so it doesn't cut into your reading time. I used to get up at 5 a.m. when I was working back in Washington State. And that was so I could start my job at 6 a.m. working from home and get off work at 2:30 in the afternoon. That was a lot of fun. So, Angelia, former librarian here too. That's Zap. 10 minutes in and I'll pop and see how long the battery lasts. Okay, Gareth, I can hold out 10 minutes on my own. Jim, I wake up at 4:15 a.m. Wow, that's even hard. That would be hard for me. I haven't seen 4:15 a.m. in years. Well, actually, Jim, I think I've seen 4:15 a.m. a couple times, but that's usually because I got to get up and visit a throne room. And Bad says, yeah, it's way too early. It is the best time to read for me, says MJ. A cup of coffee and 25 pages is the best way to start a work day. Okay. I would imagine starting your work day would have been taking Watson out or letting him into the backyard, because I had a dog when I was working that early hours, and I had to walk the dog early in the morning because he'd just look at me with those brown eyes and go, hey, let's go. I read stories of libraries loving the little annoying kids. Not my experience. Bad. I read morning, afternoon, and night. Jim says, I hear that, Greg. Well, here's Fred. How was your New Year's? Greg, has your wife ever played cards like Exploding Kittens or Cards Against Humanity? Yeah, we actually, I got her to order Exploding Kittens as a card game. We played that when her mother was living with us, and her mother was, older and a little strained intellectually sometimes. And I don't think she really enjoyed Exploding Kittens the way I did. And my wife didn't really like it that much. They just like normal card games. Cards Against Humanity, I have never tried. So, Al, audiobooks, sunrises, and walks for what it's worth in IMO. Al, I'm with you. When I get up in the morning, my first task is feed the cats, clean the litter boxes, and then go for a walk, usually half hour to an hour. It really gets my day going. And I really don't like it when I don't get to walk in the morning. Hey, MJ!
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. I felt so bad. You're there by yourself waiting for Gareth. I'm like, all right, I'm going up to bed anyway, so why don't I just pop in?
Oh, excellent. Thank you, MJ.
What's going on?
We're just going through all the comments. So
Mhm.
now that you're here, how was your New Year's Day?
My New Year's Day was wonderful. It was wonderful. I slept in, did not go to the gym today. We celebrated with family last night and then stayed up probably till like 1 in the morning. And I think I got up at like 5:45, and that's sleeping in for me. So it was good. Had breakfast with the hubs, did some stuff around the house, got organized, read, did some videos, did some editing, all of the above. Just awesome, awesome day. Nice way to end the holiday.
That's great. I'm surprised Watson lets you sleep.
He is a bit of a, I don't know what you want to call it. It's like a lounge lizard. He's high energy and then he'll crash. And then he's high energy and then he'll crash. So being up late last night totally just put his schedule out of whack.
Because I know I sleep too late. My wife said that the cats just come on the bed and they're going, excuse me. You know that there's hungry cats in this house.
Oh gosh. How was your New Year's?
It was pretty good.
Good.
I didn't really do much of anything today. I started to read Gareth's book.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got through Marvin, like the first third, and then the BookTube Prize nominations came in.
Yeah, I saw the email. I'm gonna print it out. I don't think I'm gonna do a spreadsheet, but I gotta get organized with it. I gotta do some research.
Yeah, well, as I said, the way I was doing is I put them all in a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And then I say, are they available in Kindle? Are they available in audio? Just a flag, just so I know, and how many pages the book is.
Right.
And then I rank it. I go to Amazon and say, do I want to read this book?
Mm-hmm.
And just rank it 1 to 5. Say, what do I think of it?
Okay.
And then I rank it. Said, that's a 5. I had a couple I know they're 5. Couple that I know are going to be 1s. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then
I'll be boxering you and be like, Greg.
you got to pick your own. You got to pick your own. Now the thing is,
no, not about the books, but just about like the setup.
Setup. Oh, I'll
show you my spreadsheet.
It's a real simple spread. It just you copy and paste. I can send you if you want to. I'll send you the blank spreadsheet with all the titles and just.
I'll take a form. Sure.
You'll take a form. And I'll just make sure that all my comments and stuff and.
Perfect.
And on the side, sometimes I said history book. History, England. So I get an idea of what the book is. After 97 books, I don't remember what that one was.
It'll be fun, that's for sure.
It is, and I know there's a couple that you're going to rank very high. Oh no, you're mute. Oh, did I mute you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, for some reason you kept getting muted.
Yeah, I took out my earbuds. They're so crystal clear that it's almost like I don't know if they're working.
So it's gonna be interesting. There's a lot of the ones on nonfiction that I know are going to make it through the nomination round. They're not my cup of tea. And there's some that I really want to get on that I think other people say, nope, I don't want to read that one.
Okay. I'm glad I didn't look then because I'd be like trying to fall asleep obsessing over what books I want to get on there.
But it's fun. It's really, there's a lot of books that I didn't know about that I'm looking at. And I'm going, I really want to read this book.
Cool. Good.
So, there's something I really want to make it on this list because I think it'd be really exciting. But there's lots of different people nominating these. So,
did they say how many judges they got? Did they reach their?
I have not seen any comment. Last time we did that, we did the Go Be a Judge videos.
Yeah.
Never got a comment back. So.
Okay.
I presume he has enough.
Yeah.
Now, last year, what happened is I volunteered for fiction and nonfiction,
Mhm.
and he was always short on nonfiction. And he apologized to people who were in both categories. For some people in both categories, because what he likes to do if you volunteer for both is like he likes to switch it out. So one time
Right.
you do not, he said, I had to put you in nonfiction again because I didn't have enough judges.
Mhm.
And for me, I was totally fine with that.
Yeah.
Wherever you need the judge. So what it says, so you finished Gareth's book today. Did you read it?
Yeah. Yeah. I wrote down like my favorite poems, and then I sent him a screenshot of the list of my favorites. And I'm
Oh, I
like, hey, I
haven't done.
finished your book today.
I had a couple that I want to do a longer review, and a couple I'm gonna read. I
Yeah.
think Harold was one.
Hmm.
But you
Brendan was my favorite. That was
Brendan.
the first one, and I'm like, I need to write this name down. Yeah.
Okay, I had a few that I checked out. I don't remember the names of the characters and matching them up. But
Hmm.
my thing was, his voices didn't sound like Gareth that much.
Well, no, it was good. Well, the Gareth one sounded like Gareth a little bit.
Well, he put his own name on that, so I can I can sort of get that. Oh,
I'm tagging out when Gareth shows up.
all right, you're tagging out. All right.
I'm on the
Well,
clock.
we've been on for an hour, so officially my show is supposed to only last an
Yeah.
hour, but we got 21 people in the chat room, so why not go on?
Good.
Let's see what some other people are saying in the chat room. Here's bad. I'm starting to move. I think love audiobooks, not move audiobooks. I'm on my second puzzle. I think she likes to do puzzles while she's listening to audiobooks.
Mm.
That would be fun, but in my house, that would not work.
Yeah.
Because, a puzzle piece is a cat toy. It is. It's I'll tell you, like.
I'm sure.
MJ and Bed. I also need to be able to read before work, on lunch, and after work. Hey, Zap, it's great to be retired. I was a school librarian, and dang, MJ, 4:15. I get up around 8:30.
Mhm.
You can sleep to 8:30 if you don't have pets.
Yeah.
Or you have someone else taking care of the pets. The latest I've ever been allowed to sleep is 7:30. Before the natives get restless.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you worked? I guess he's asking you at reading this live. How long have you worked? Did you always wake up so early? When did you start fitness?
16. Been working since I was 16. Pretty much have always been an early bird, except my college years, because I would stay up late to study and all that. And I worked while I went to college. And I started fitness probably when I was 9, 10. There used to be a show called, God, what was her name? She was a fitness expert called Joni Greggins, and she was on like public television or something like that. And she would have a half-hour show from like, I don't know, 6:30 to 7 in the morning, and I would do it before I went to grade school. And it was mostly just stretching and stuff, but I was like, I was bored, so I just started doing fitness. Yeah. I've always been active.
Yep, Coda, it sure does. I like having a nice time to read. That's bad. Here's Alan. Hey, y'all. MJ, thanks for saving the day. My stupid noble. MJ, I wake up at the same time.
Yeah, we chit chat.
He never sleeps.
No, I know.
I don't know how he does it. Because I tell him, like, I go to bed, 11 o'clock, I'm out.
Yeah.
Except for that occasional waking up in the middle of the night, but So again, Bat, reading this life, are you excited to retire soon? Do you have travel plans and reading as much as you can? I don't think you're retiring. Are you retiring soon?
4 years, 1 month.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Must be exciting.
Yeah.
Do you have a retirement plan at your job?
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
See, my wife is in the federal government, so
Mhm.
she gets this thing that no one talks about anymore called a pension.
Yeah. Mhm. Yep.
Lee, when will the list be published for us? I think she's talking about the BookTube Prize nominations. Does he
Yeah.
officially publish the nominations? The
I
complete.
don't think so.
I don't think there is a prohibited to talk about it.
Right.
Gareth is here. Hey, Gareth.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm tagging out.
You're tagging
Oh,
out.
by the way, you're out of there.
I'm tagging out. I was waiting for you. I felt bad. Greg was here by himself, and I'm like, well, before I go to bed, I'll just fill in for Alan.
Well, nice to see you briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to see you too. Your book is awesome, by the way. Everybody
Thank
go
you.
get it.
Everyone on this
Amazon.
screen has read Gareth's book.
Yeah, I read it a number of times.
Yeah. Oh, good.
But yeah, I need to check out who Brendan was because I can't remember. But
It's a good one.
yeah, thanks. The one called Gareth is because have I actually frozen? Is my screen frozen?
You're frozen.
You're frozen. Your voice is fine, but you're. Hold on,
Right,
Gareth.
hold on.
I'm gonna do. Hold on for 1 second. Let me do. Sometimes it helps that if I remove them and add them.
Yeah.
But Lee, I don't think there's a prohibition against us talking about what books have been nominated.
I don't know. I'm gonna treat it like Fight Club. Don't talk about the BookTube Prize unless you can.
Here's Gareth back again. All right, Gareth is back again.
Ah,
All right.
yeah.
All right.
So yeah, hello. I'll try and stay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I was
Well-
going to say just quickly that the one called Gareth is called Gareth because that's actually a set of lyrics that I wrote. It's a new song of ours, and it's lyrics that I wrote about when I left the hospital, and it was like it's actually a song called Head First, and it's kind of saying I'm going to grab life by the balls and live it to the fullest. Now I didn't die.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what that poem's about. So
I read the introduction.
oh, did I say that
I'm
in
a
the
nerd that
introduction?
reads the
You
introduction.
said that in the introduction, yeah. Well, MJ, before you check out, I think Bat has one more question for you.
Okay.
Where do you see your channel in 10 years? What are your goals and what makes you happy for the future?
Same what I'm doing right now. Reading books, talking about books. If I have 10 subscribers or 5,000, doesn't matter. I'm still going to be here, and I'm going to be talking to all you guys. And I'm going to have more free time. So, Greg, I'm coming to Virginia.
Well,
We traveling a lot.
I'm going to Philadelphia again, I think, in August.
Oh,
The
for
book
the
fair?
for
Are
the
you
book crawl?
The book crawl. You know about going to that book crawl?
I'll go with you. Yeah,
All right.
we'll totally do it.
We'll totally
Yeah.
do that.
It looked really cute, the one that you had over the holiday. Yeah, they had a nice turnout too.
All right. So there we got a book crawl in Philadelphia in 2024, August.
Yeah.
We'll make more announcements for other people to get going in Philadelphia. Now you're not
There
that
you
far,
go.
are you?
I'm 2.5 hours away.
Really? Because I'm just about 3 hours away by train.
Yeah. Yeah. Parking. I'll have to research parking. That'll be the hardest part. Philly parking authority is notorious.
Well, that's why I'm taking the train because
Good for you. I don't have any we don't have any trains where I live.
you don't have an Amtrak track near you.
No.
Mm.
No, I'm in the mountains. Nah.
Wow,
Yeah. I know.
no
I
train.
know. It's crazy.
That's weird. That's really
I
weird
know.
for a Brit. Yeah, we
I
have
know.
loads of trains everywhere.
I know.
Well, Britain or the UK is fabulous for that. It's like you can go anywhere on train.
It's
Basically,
amazing. It's
all
amazing.
towns have a train stop, don't they? More or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, for even the small villages have got little tiny stations. I mean,
Yep.
you know, if it's a bit out of the way, you might have to take a few, like 2 or 3 trains, but you can usually get anywhere on train. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think
All
I
right,
think
guys.
I think
I'm
that's
going
it's
to
so
bed.
great.
What's
I'm
that?
going to sleep. I'm going to sleep, guys.
Okay, MJ.
Nice
I'm going to talk to you about Garrett's book tomorrow.
Greg, if you want to carry on with MJ, if you want to carry, I can go if you want to carry on with MJ. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to get in the way.
No, MJ needs to get up at 4:15 in the morning, so we got to
Yeah,
let her.
what's that about? She's a lunatic. Who gets up at 4:15?
I
That's
want
nearly
to
my
read.
bedtime.
I want to read
that's
before I
about-
go to the gym.
I started to think about going to bed at 4:15.
I'll be texting you at 4:15. Good night, Garrett. All right. Bye, guys.
Good night, MJ.
Good night.
Okay, good. Oh. All right. So how was your New Year's Day?
It was pretty chilled. I got up late because I went to bed at about 4 after a 5-hour gig. So I had to rest. I couldn't really walk properly, so I had to rest today. But I have rested, and I'm all good. I've got to go to work tomorrow, so
Oh,
yeah. I don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring because it's not even the students aren't back. It's an inset day, so that usually means some sort of weird training or something. But I don't know. We'll see.
yeah.
Yeah, the students are back on Wednesday.
All right. So let's see if there's anything in the comments. I think people just saying hi to each other. Yep. Comments. That was we did that one. There's Lee. When will the list be published for us? Yeah, we mentioned that's the BookTube prize.
No, yeah.
I guess she asked it twice. I want to read Garrett's latest, says Alan. Angelia, oops, I didn't sign up for nonfiction division because I'm way less adventurous with nonfiction than I am with fiction. You know, I think I'm a little bit of the opposite. When I was looking at the fiction, I'm not finding as much that really captures, like, I really want to read this book. But with the nonfiction, there's a lot that I'm.
Do you get to pick what you read, or do you actually do you get assigned books, or?
Well, the way it works is they like for like, I'll just stick with nonfiction. You get a list of like 97, 100 books that are on the nomination list. And then you pick the 20 that you think would be good to read. You don't have to have read them before. It's just like, I would like to read that book. And then all the judges put it in, and then Robert tallies it all up, and the number of books with the most amount of votes get divided up. We have 8 divisions, or 8 groups with 6 books. So someone do the math, and you get all those put in, and then you start reading the books, and the first 3, the top 3 in each division at the end of voting, move on to the next round, and the bottom 3 drop off in each group until
you have 6 books to read in each category.
In each group, yes, in 2 months.
That's not bad, is it?
It can get bad.
If it's a bad book,
there's one book on the nonfiction. I actually really want to read it, but it is 1,330 pages long.
Ouch.
And even though I really want, I just cannot nominate it, because if I would not want to get that book as a selected, because that would take up an entire month to read.
That would take me about 3 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even though I really want to do it, someone said the audiobook is really good, but the audiobook is 68 hours. So it's just too long for me.
Yeah.
For me, and even though,
what's it about?
It's about the world. It covers all of history. Essentially, it's like trying to cover all.
Oh, maybe it's too short then.
Right? Maybe it's too short. Yeah, but no. So
that'd be amazing if you reviewed it and said, "Well, it's all right, but it's too short." He'd be like, "What?"
Yeah. So I'm going through. I have not looked at the. I've only glanced at the fiction so far. What's on that list? But if it's anything like last year, I signed it for both divisions, and I was telling MJ, I basically did fiction for all of the quarters because he was short on fiction judges, and I bowed out of one, just wanted to take a break. Coda, can you link Gareth's book? I can buy one once I'm done with my Read What You Own. I can't.
Thank you, Coda.
Well, you know, Coda, there is an unofficial rule, is that there is an exception to the buying ban for buying BookTube authors that you can buy because you're buying from your friend, and that really doesn't count against you. Although you wouldn't be able to count the book as something you have read for your challenge. You just buy it and read it.
I'm determined to write my next novel this year. So I wanted to do it last year, didn't get to it, but it's a follow-up to the previous novel I wrote.
Okay.
It's completely mental. It's a 400-page sci-fi musical parody, and it's ridiculous. And I want to do the sequel. I've got a really cool plot for the sequel about plagiarism and about sirens, alien sirens that are stealing other people's songs. And
that's the sequel, or is that the original, the one I have to read first?
The sequel. The first one's called the Brown Yelp Gang, which is the name of the band, and that's all about them getting involved with music promoters. They're actually gangsters, and one of the music promoters wants to rule the entire planet. And I've met music promoters like that, and they just get involved with this guy who's building up this massive robot to destroy the planet. And it's very silly, but I laughed while I was writing it, and I want to write the next one because I think it might be even funnier. I don't know. I really enjoy just coming up with song titles and like stupid bits of dialogue where typically the guitarist, who's called Lazy Riff, the guitarist kept just not getting what was going on, and he would be like, "What are we talking about?" And it would just be lots of. I've met people like that, and it was just funny to write it. So I really want to write the sequel.
Okay. I'll have to pick up the first one then.
Yeah.
So yes, Bad likes puzzles, just like me and the Phoenix. I looked up for Gareth's book on Amazon. It's $16.95. I'll get it ordered.
Ooh.
I thought are yours in pay? I thought yours was just ebooks, or they're print on demand.
Yeah, you can get them paperbacks as well. The Brown Yelp Gang is actually on hardback as well. But that's loads of money, so just get the paperback. But you can get, I think some of them are definitely on Kindle Unlimited, so that might help some people if it's a lot of money. But I just love it if people read them. But the poetry books are quite different to my novels or short story books because the poetry is not funny at all.
No, I actually admit it's like none of the voices sounded like I would think you sound like. It's like you got into other people's heads, and
that's what I tried to do. Yeah.
So that was good. I did like it. So I said it'll get pretty positive when I put out my review.
I think one of the ones that you mentioned was an old man. I think, wasn't it? Who was he trying to just Harold? Is it Harold? Was Harold just trying to make the most of the day or something?
Yes. That was the one.
Yeah. So I was just sometimes trying to get the essence of a moment in a person's day and trying to. So like the whole idea was that it was most of them were like a particular time of the day. So it was like when everyone was doing things. That's what I tried to do.
But yeah, I sort of figured like you saw these people on the street and you sort of tried to create a little voice and story. Is that about?
Yeah. The one called Christina about the immigrant. That was because
Christina is the one that I highlighted. I said, this is like, I know people feel bad against immigrants, even in the UK, but for me as an American and the way we really horribly treat our immigrants, it just really, really meant it's like, something's like, well, okay.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I that's probably my favorite, to be fair, but that was because I didn't see anything like that happen on a bus, but I saw someone speak it with a like an Eastern European accent walking out the bus just saying thank you, and it just hit me that it was really cool that nobody mumbled something horrible or whatever to themselves or to their person next to them, and I thought they could have done, and that just spun me off into. I got my phone out and started writing the poem because and that's my favorite poem in the book. I like that one. I think there's a Christina too. I'm not sure. There's two, isn't there, for her?
There is, yeah. I mean, I wasn't sure if that was Christina, the first Christina, or another woman named Christina.
No, the idea is that if there's there's two or three characters like that, then it was like another
iteration of the same voice, and not just a person with the same name.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get through. People are saying hi to each other. I think you can mention the title, but just not offer any opinion. Yeah, that's generally the rule of thumb, is that like when I do my readings, wrap up, I say, I read this for the BookTube prize. Can't say anything about it. Bad, not really. I don't mind. I just rather read Finnegan. He's having a conversation with Bad that I'm not quite following everyone's saying hi conversations. Gareth, when are you going to NOLA again?
So that's New Orleans, and we're going in July. As soon as I break up from college, like literally 3 days after I break up in July. I can't wait. Yeah, New Orleans. Yeah, we were talking about it last night actually, because obviously I was gigging with the guy that I'm going with in July. We're going to try and get an open mic spot or something if we can. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I've only been to New Orleans once in my life, but that was pre-Katrina, but it was fun. It's very
must have been different before Katrina happened.
Well, we went to it's just a very interesting old city because you can walk around town with alcohol in your hand. Most places in the U.S. it's like you're not allowed to leave the bar with the alcohol in your hand, but in certain sections in New Orleans, perfectly acceptable to walk around with a glass of beer.
So is it illegal to just walk around with a can of cider in the street?
In New Orleans?
Walk around, well, in America in general?
Well, if it's non-alcoholic cider, that's perfectly legal.
No, but if it's alcoholic cider, you can't walk around the street with alcoholic cider.
I don't know if people would bother you, but if you walked around with like a beer, if a cop saw you, they would probably pull you over for drinking in public. Not about cider. I mean, it depends on where you're drinking to. If you're in the middle of a really busy city with a lot of crime, they may just look at you and just say, not worth my time.
Right.
But in some parts, they would definitely bust you for drinking in public. Can you do that in the UK, or is it you got to live in the pub?
No, you can go. You can carry drink anywhere. That's why you get our classic British drunks shout abuse at people in the street with a can of cider in their hand.
Mm-hmm. So people saying goodnight to MJ. Everyone's saying goodnight to MJ. Saying thanks. Oh, Angelia has to go too. Good night, Angelia. I'm sure you're gone. Mr. Mercedes was good, Gareth, but Finders Keepers is even better. That's what Alan said. I have not started Finders Keepers yet. Yeah,
I'm going to read one. What am I going to read? I'm going to read this, and I'm going to read these two. This one, The Lucky at Cards.
Okay.
Lawrence Block. And I'm going to start this, The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs.
Oh, I have that. I'm going to do this month. Now, the thing is, I have an audio book from the library, and I also have a physical book coming in. Does that have a lot of pictures in yours? Yeah. See that's why I wanted to get the physical book, because I wanted to see the dinosaur pictures.
Yeah. Hold on, I can never do this properly. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I definitely want to read. What I'll probably do is just look at the pictures and just listen to the audiobook and go on my own.
So I'm gonna read. That's very small. I'm gonna read that properly, but I'm gonna probably start that, and halfway through that, I'll start Finders Keepers. That's my plan, and then see how that rattles along. So
Zap, I'm doing the same thing on video. Here's Coda. Greg, do you listen to your audiobooks at regular speed? Usually between 1.25 and 1.5 is the normal speed I listen to. A lot of it depends on the narrator, because most narrators, when they're reading, read at a very slow pace. So when you bump it up to 1.25 or 1.5, it really sounds like they're talking at a normal speed. Once you go higher than that, you start getting the chipmunk effect. And depending on the narrator, I can do a little bit of chipmunkiness, but sometimes you just get it's just slow it down, especially if it's a more complex book. If it's a really easy book, you can bump it up to 1.75 and it's usually okay, but 1.5 is my sweet spot. Gareth, maybe it's too short then?
It's too short.
It's
Too short.
too short.
Too short.
Too short.
If it's the history of the world, that's the reference to when I said it's too short. Yeah. So it's probably meant it's too short.
Probably.
Yeah.
Greg, I'm listening to The World. Mark from Elvis has read it. Okay, that's the one that's 1003, The World.
Right.
I'm really I really wish it was I could nominate it, but not in good conscience. LOL, y'all too slow. I already found both of his books on Amazon and put them on my wish list.
Okay.
I'm not even trying to get links when I'm talking. I'm just talking.
Yeah.
And I So here's Alan. I listen to audio at 1.4 speed while reading along with the text. Y'all need all the help I can get. Alan, he does. I listen anywhere from 1.5 to 2.x speed. 2.x is rare because, as I said, that's when you get the chipmunk effect, getting hard. Read by Fred. This was fun, but I have to work tomorrow and have to sign off. Always enjoy these Monday Night Lives. Happy New Year's, folks. Goodbye,
Happy New
Fred.
Year, Fred.
I think you're probably gone by now. Mr. Do you write? Did you write Out Among the Ice Beacons, Gareth?
Yeah, that's my first novel, and Michael K. Vaughan gave a really nice review, but he did say there's a really bad error in it, and it's only one small thing, but I need to reread it and take that error out of it. But yeah, apparently there's a bit where someone asks someone a question and the same person replies. Like, oh no. But he said it was a really good book, so that's really nice.
That means like Bill, where'd you go to the market, Bill? Like, well, I went to the Super Bowl, Bill, said Bill. Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. So obviously that's gutting. But yeah, he said he liked the story and the characters and the world, but he thought there could have been more world building in it. But I wanted a particular kind of rhythm to the book. I wanted a particular kind of pace. So if I'd have put a lot more world building into it, I think it would have changed the pace of it and the tone of it. So I deliberately did that. So when he said that, I absolutely get the advice, but I don't really want to do that. So I need to correct that error. But other than that, I'm quite happy with it. So if Jim wants to read Out Among the Ice Beacons, it's a rollicking adventure with 3 teenage boys being stuck on a planet on the other side of the galaxy or whatever.
Well, Gareth, I think most books that authors will have some sort of error in it. And I guess, you self-published this. It was not true. This was not, right?
No, yeah. There's no editor. Yeah.
So normally the editor would come back and say, here's your Bill said to Bill. And just,
Yeah. I've seen it in proper books. Proper books. I've seen it in famous authors' books as well. So that's made me feel a bit better.
It is. But do you farm it out to other booktubers? Do you want to proofread my book?
I proofed that book. I proofread. I got a friend to read the first 3 chapters just to check out how he felt about it, and he gave me some advice, which is interesting because the advice he gave me, I thought I was already doing it, but because he gave me the advice, I thought I wasn't doing enough. So he wanted. There's 2 characters that are kind of similar, but they're not. They are still different. I thought I'd made them different enough, and he said, I think you need to make them more different. So I created this sort of power dynamic between the two of them. So that was good advice. But other than that, I wrote the rest of it myself and just reread it hundreds of times. But sometimes you don't see the errors yourself if you've read it, because your eyes read what it wants to read.
Well,
So.
I when I was doing short stories in my 20s, you just ignore some things. You know what you want to say, and you just see what you thought you wrote.
Yeah. But when I wrote the Brown Yelp Gang, I had 2 proofreaders for the Brown Yelp Gang, and that was because they both friends offered to do it for me. And because I'm not getting any money for these books, so I can't really justify plowing lots of money into them. But
right.
But the Brown Yelp Gang is thoroughly proofread, so I know I'm quite happy that I'm not expecting any errors in that one, and that's the longest book as well. But it's also the silliest.
Okay. So, Jim's down a rabbit hole now. So, Coda, I didn't put that exception in my rules, Greg, but I won't forget about them. Gareth, have you ever thought of putting your books on audio?
There's what I'd like to do is slow. Well, I think slowly, because I don't think I can do it any other way. Because again, I can't pay people, but I want to have the 10 stories that were in my first book, 10 Tales of Transformation, in audio form, so I could create some kind of audio version. There is already on my channel an audio version of the Ethel Pinchworthy story, which is the most popular one. It's about the old woman that gets abducted by aliens. It's a really stupid story, but it always makes me laugh. And my friend Sharon, she sounds like a female Stephen Fry. She's got a fantastic voice, and she did a version. I just asked her if she'd do it, just as an advert for the book, and it's fantastic. So it's about 20 minutes long. So if you fancy just dipping into my stupid brain, then you could check out the 20-minute audio of the story called Whatever Happened to Ethel Pinchworthy. And you can listen to her getting abducted by aliens and getting forced to draw a giraffe and what happens to her after that.
Cool. Mystery Man, yes, that's the novel I put on my wish list. Coda's down the rabbit hole. Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
We can drink alcohol publicly, DT Portland.
Okay.
He says in Portland you can drink publicly. Okay. I guess there's more places than just New Orleans, as long as it's in cans, non-glass. That's a weird.
I don't think anyone's gonna have glass, like a glass of beer around the house, around the streets, are they? They're gonna have it in a can, aren't they?
Probably.
Or a bottle of some kind.
Well, in New Orleans, you get these little plastic cups. You know, the plastic cups.
What, from the bars?
Yeah.
From the bars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. No, the pubs don't expect you to wander around the streets with what you bought from the pub, but obviously you can buy alcohol in supermarkets and off licenses and grocery stores and the corner stores. So those places, obviously, you could leave the shop and just immediately open the can of beer if you wanted. Over here.
Oh, Al saying bye to Fred. Coda, I don't notice the chipmunkiness when I go fast. LOL. I rarely go below 2 speed anymore. Sometimes I go 2.3 to 2.6. My brain won't handle that, but if it's good for you, it's good for you. I wish I could handle more. You get more done. Coda, when are you reading Finders Keepers? I need to read that one as well. I've only read Mr. Mercedes. Finders Keepers is the last Wednesday of the month. So that will be, I believe, I'll have to check the schedule of the 24th or the 31st. I can't remember which one we scheduled it for. So you got plenty of time to get it and read it.
I'll be all right for that one, Greg. I'm sure I'll read that one in time.
All right.
The first one.
Yes, too short, I meant. Mystery Mate, hey, I'm a copy editor. Just an FYI, Gary. There you go. And also,
Jim, if you're happy for me to send you stuff, I'd love to.
Wait, here's also Coda. I'm happy to proofread for technical errors. I catch them always. LOL. I will also review.
Thank you, Coda. That's really kind of you.
Now, see, Garrett, I would volunteer to read, but I don't catch technical errors.
Yeah, you read what you should be reading.
The thing is, I in real life, I'm just a terrible speller. And so if someone misspells something, I go, oh, that's fine. I am of the old school that said a man who can't think of more than one way to spell a word does not have an intellect or something like that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm about to write the next book. So the guy that proofread the first one, I am going to ask him, but I'm going to do it very sheepishly because it's very good of him, because it obviously takes days and hours and hours to make up days of time like doing that. So I'm a bit embarrassed to ask him, but he was very gracious doing it before. But he lives down the road. He's a friend of mine. I've known him for years. But he was brilliant. He gave me loads and loads of corrections. So, it was really helpful. And it wasn't, and it was just things like, did you mean to write this? And sometimes I said, no, that is what I meant to write. It's a joke. And sometimes I go, no, I didn't mean to write that. That's a mistake.
Yeah. Well, I would volunteer to read just for story cohesiveness, but don't ask for like spelling and grammar checks, because I'm terrible at that. Wait, I missed this one. I want to put my poetry books in audio, but I'm waiting until I can put music to those in each book, which are lyrics.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, when you put music, I presume your own music, because I know there's horrible copyright punishments if you put someone else's music into a book and they don't have, and you don't have permission.
Is Coda a musician?
I don't know. I don't know. You'll have to ask. If
Coda wants me to provide music, I can do that as well for him. If you want.
There you go. Coda proofreads and you provide the music background. Right? There you go. All right, read that one. Oh, I have it. Finders keepers. LOL. End of the month sounds maybe doable. I'd be happy to read your stuff and help you out, says Jem.
Thanks, Jim.
He posted this. Okay. We are at the end of the comments. Wow. Yay. So, what are the
keep up with the comments, isn't
it? The problem with comments is once you get talking with people, you get talking and you lose track, and you're focusing on what you're talking about, and people are making comments. And depending on how it's going, you can get really far behind. I know when we had Steve Donahue in, I was like an hour behind on my comments, and it was just kind of embarrassing because
inspired by you guys, me and Dave are going to start one, aren't we? And we've been saying that we've got to try and make sure that we stay on the comments. Our first one's on the 11th, and we're kind of inspired by you now. It's like this regular feature thing is a good idea, so we're doing it every 2 weeks. But we got to keep up with the comments.
When I first started this with Alan, I said, we'll do it 3 or 4 times and that'll be it. But it really took off. And it really took off once we started inviting guests on. And that's sort of like the real thing that makes it really interesting, is getting lots of people on here and talking and definitely. Just make it like like you're hanging out at a pub somewhere, because we live all over the world, and for the most part, I'm not going to meet most of the people on BookTube. I'll meet a few, but for most of the part, most of them I won't meet. Yeah,
we can aim for New York 2026, right?
Maybe there's going to be a Philadelphia meeting in 2024.
2024.
Yeah.
2024. I can't do. I'm going. I've got 2 holidays next year. I can't do 3. I've got to go to Italy as well.
Philadelphia is a little hard for you in the UK, I think.
It's not walking distance.
Not walking. Now, my wife has been talking about visiting the UK this September.
Oh, that'd be awesome to meet you, Greg.
The thing is, like, if we go to the UK, I'm just like, look, we're going to London or that area. Now, you're in Portsmouth. You're sort of near London, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's only it's a 1.5, 2 hour train journey. It's easy.
That's fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm pushing for that. And what's that town in? Is it Wales?
that's a country.
I know. No, it's not a town. The
Oh.
country Wales. There's a town in
Cardiff?
Wales.
Cardiff? Is it Cardiff?
It's a town with lots of used bookstores.
Oh no. I know which one you mean. Oh God, no. It's
Not Wales. It's
they do a really important like a book award ceremony there as well, and there's tons of bookshops there. Oh God, what's it called? My mind's gone funny. It's like 3 words.
It is.
Right. Hey on Rye.
Hey, why?
Hey on Rye. Yeah.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe was that in August this year? Well,
Yes.
maybe I can meet you there.
They have something in August.
Well, I don't have a holiday, but I can I don't do it.
I will. Well, my idea would be I would just be going in London and you meet after work or something at someplace. Get to see everyone.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if we're going this year or next year. My wife has lots because I mentioned she's retiring this year and she's got lots of plans of where to go.
You're gonna become an expert card player, aren't you? Your enthusiasm is overwhelming.
Yeah, well, you know. So yeah, of course I make my own music. So Gareth, here's the thing. I have music in my head. I don't play a lick, but I can sing, so my lyrics have tunes.
Okay. So there'll be like a cappella recordings or something like that. That's fair enough. I mean, if you want me to put guitar chords underneath the tunes, I can do that. It'll still be your music. I would just be providing chords for someone else to play under it if you wanted that.
Cool. Hey, Alan, I'm still here with you guys, out running errands and going to eat.
He just left you, didn't he? He just thought, that's it, I'm off.
Yeah, well, you know, he has connectivity. This is not the first time he's had connectivity issues. So
Yeah, true.
Because I think he's canceled his Wi-Fi, his monthly Wi-Fi. When I can afford Abington Live, I'll be able to pick, poke out what I want and mix it in together. I guess that is some sort of software he's talking about.
Yeah, Ableton Live software. Yeah, you can use that on a PC. You have to have a Mac to do Logic, and Logic's really good. GarageBand's useful, to be fair. You can do lots of GarageBand. So it's quite easy to use.
Gareth, are you going to read Geddy Lee's new memoir?
I tell you what, yeah, I want to. Talking about Geddy Lee, he appeared in Portsmouth a couple of weeks ago, just around, might have been like a week ago, actually, something like that. And I didn't even know he was coming to Portsmouth. And that's because that's where I live, in Portsmouth. And unless people don't know, I live in Portsmouth. And in the main Guild Hall, he did this special talk about his career. And if you're a Rush fan, you've been like over the moon, because not only did he appear as he was officially billed to appear, but Alex Lifeson just suddenly appeared as a guest as well. So there was both the surviving members of Rush there talking about Geddy Lee's career and all that sort of stuff, probably centered on him. But apparently Alex Lifeson was very funny. But I didn't even know it was happening. But Rich, my partner in Bemis, the guy I've been playing music with for like 30 odd years, he's closest thing to a brother. He told me yesterday that he went. I didn't know he went. And he said, "Oh, it was amazing, Gareth." So yeah, Geddy Lee came to Portsmouth and he did this special show, like a Q&A interview thing. And yeah, it was apparently really cool. And it was a book tour. He's doing a book tour because of that memoir. So yeah, I expect it's really interesting. Yeah. Do you like Rush, Greg?
I don't really like them that much. I mean, they were really popular when I was in high school.
Yeah,
but,
they've been going a while. Yeah, they're quite old now.
Yeah, they're my age, or maybe just a little bit older.
Yeah. Neil Peart.
They would be a little older because they were popular when I was in high school, so they were at least 5 to 10 years older than me, something like that.
The first albums were the late 60s.
Oh, they're much older. All right.
I think 69 was the first album. 2112, I think it's the first album,
Mm.
which has got some controversial element because it's got Ayn Rand's kind of philosophy behind the lyrics,
Okay.
which is kind of.
Ayn Rand. Have you ever read Ayn Rand?
No, I kind of avoided it because it's all like Nietzsche's superhuman kind of stuff, isn't it? About how competition's good and
She,
So.
you know, I have mixed feelings. Her books are interesting. I mean, you read them and they're interesting, but it's like this whole superhuman Ubermensch type of
yeah,
characters and.
yeah,
But the one you should, I can is to pick up the Fountainhead,
okay,
which has the Howard Rourke or something Rourke. He's an
Okay.
architect, and he's sort of like who's our famous architect?
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Frank Lloyd Wright. He's a little bit like Frank Lloyd Wright, that he's a super architectural genius, and he thinks the world of himself, and he's the best architect that ever will be born. You know,
Yeah,
but she has some bizarre philosophical digressions in the book.
yeah. I mean, I love the music of Rush, and I like the lyrics of later Rush. I mean, 2112. I'm not really sure. I'd like to know more of the context and know Ayn Rand's stuff more. But later Rush lyrics, they're written by Neil Peart, the drummer, and they're quite liberal and they're quite interesting and quite kind of anti-capitalist and quite cool. Some of them. Some of them.
Curious because Ayn Rand was very strongly pro business and capitalism. She came from the Soviet Union, under oppression, and oh man, on some of her books, she rails against like public aid.
Right.
How bad it is to be on public aid, and you're a loser if you're on public aid, and
See, that's to me that's so dangerous and negative.
And then that was in Atlas, and then it came out in her later after she published her book. She herself was on public aid.
But actually, I mean, that's probably why she's quite popular with some Americans, because obviously that's where the American dream idea comes from.
Right.
And, that whole thing of looking after yourself and the government's against you and all that kind of bollocks.
Yes, definitely. She is the godmother of the Libertarian Party, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. And because I get the impression that a lot of the people that are really passionate about their guns is because they're waiting for the time when they have to physically overthrow the government because they've let them down too many times or something, and it's just quite bizarre.
Definitely.
And your medical system or lack of a medical system
lack it's just absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, it's a business, isn't it? It's just a business.
I remember talking to someone who was in Canada, and he says, if I'm out mowing my lawn and I step on a nail, I go to the doctor, they clean my wound, give me a shot, and I may have to go buy some drugs myself. In the United States, if you step on a nail and you don't have insurance, you look at it and go, it'll be okay.
Because you don't spend hundreds of dollars trying to get it sorted.
Thousands.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, it's insane. It's insane. I think the most basic thing that taxis should be doing is sorting out your medical health.
I totally agree. I mean,
it's
totally
bizarre. To me, it's common sense. I don't get it.
Well, some people like to say, well, I'd rather save that $50 a month that I pay to insurance and run the risk that I won't step on a nail. But
everybody gets ill at some point. I've been really lucky, and I haven't been ill much, and I've only been to the hospital a couple of times in my whole life. So I have been very lucky. But I did have a horrible experience and nearly died during the COVID thing. And 2 years ago, if I didn't have a national health system where they just sorted me out, and it didn't cost me anything, I'd be in massive debt now, wouldn't I?
You would, because they'd be looking at, whoa, you got to sell your house to pay your medical bill.
That's crazy.
It's just it's a
Everyone will get ill at some point. Everyone.
Everyone's going to get some. I mean, actually, I say everyone, but I've actually avoided medical issues in my life just somehow, but that's unusual. Usually,
Yeah.
most people are going to like whatever it is, serious or not serious, you're going to need to see a doctor, and you don't want to pay for it. That way,
Yeah.
it's much
Yeah.
easier just to,
And to be honest, if you're that lucky that you never have to see someone for your entire life, there's nothing wrong with paying for someone else to see someone
No,
either.
it's not.
Do you know what I mean?
Because
it's a social contract thing, isn't it?
it's just numbers.
Yeah.
You know,
and if someone is off work, say there's a bunch of people that are at work because they've been fixed by the system and they got quicker, better, or they had antibiotics or whatever because the system was there, then you are indirectly affected in a positive way by that as well.
I totally agree. I mean, it's just
we're all linked. We're all linked.
But getting that into the American psyche is going to be the younger generation in America, I think, are more open to it.
Right.
And I think once the younger generations get to be in their 30s and 40s, they're going to look at it. If they have kids, say, "No, we're not doing this."
I mean, I will say that the NHS is at risk because the parts of the NHS is being bought under our feet without us knowing. So there's loads of people that aren't even aware that some parts of it are privately owned now. So that is true. But as a principle, if you ask your like every single British person what were they most sort of proud of in England or most pleased about or most sacred to them as far as our system that we live under, they'll all say the NHS. You know, because we all have different opinions about politicians.
Right.
You know, but we all agree on the NHS.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much the end of the comments. Got people talking back to each other. All right, Gareth. I've been at this for an hour and 50 minutes, so I think I'm going to call it a night.
All right, mate. That's cool.
All right. Well, thank you for jumping on our open mic. And Alan, if you're still there, wish you could be here to join the chat, and hope your Wi-Fi gets better. Okay, everyone.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Thanks.
Happy New Year, Greg.